All right, we are at a place that I did not know was on my bucket list until I looked at a map, looked it up, and put it on the bucket list. The Salton Sea. In the middle of the desert in California, and the Salton Sea is right behind us. It was a lake that formed artificially or naturally when the Colorado River broke its route and rerouted into the middle of California. For 2 years, it filled up the entire lake until engineers were able to put the Colorado River back on track, and it left this amazing sea. We're going to talk about the sea when we get there, but this is just absolutely surreal. It's 73 meters below sea level, 4.4% salinity. You know, we'll come back. The Salton Sea. A massive saltwater lake in the middle of the desert. The sand consists of broken shells. There are huge plates. This is surreal. This is like Death Valley with water. My goodness, it smells like sulfur and like extremely concentrated ocean. The salinity of the water is 4.4% compared to the average of the oceans in the world, which is like 3.5%. The Pacific is 3.5%, Indian Ocean is about 3.48%, the Atlantic Ocean is 3.9%. This is 4.4% salinity, which is too salty for all fish except pupfish and Mozambique tilapia. If I can get my rod in the water, I'm gonna try to catch a few, but look at this. This is just amazing. What's the temperature? It's got to be warm, eh?
It's so warm, Daddy.
It's warm? Careful, guys. This is where it's like, oh my gosh. Don't step in it. The shoreline is either basically crushed shell and fish bones or this like quicksand slop. And apparently duck hunters and fishermen die by getting stuck in the quicksand and digging themselves deeper instead of pulling themselves out. Look at that. That's a fish bone. Oh, you got the fish bone too? Amazing. Oh! Ah! Whoa! This is crazy. It's like a foot of quicksand. Look at that. This is surreal. Oh my gosh, look how deep I am right there. Look at this. Well, the water is quite warm, actually. My goodness, it's just calf deep quicksand. This is a bird watcher paradise. There's all sorts of beautiful birds. And what is this? Look at this. I don't know what kind of fish that is. I mean, I suspect it has to be a tilapia only because that's the only type of fish that are here, but I don't know how to identify that. Don't touch it! Don't touch it. Let's just look at it. Okay, this...
His eyeball is out.
This I can tell is a tilapia, 100%.
His eyeball is out.
Now that is salted fish.
That is obviously a tilapia just by the shape of it for anyone who's seen tilapia. I want to catch and cook and eat one, I think. What do you say? See, now he's smashing it with a rock.
Oh.
I've just been walking the shoreline and came to this sort of inlet, I guess. It is flowing. It's actively flowing out to the Salton Sea. And behind me, it's like an oasis for birds. Look at this. Ugh. I had to look it up to confirm because it only makes sense that the Salton Sea is drying up given the way it was formed in the first place. You have to have a steady in-source of water to maintain a lake of this size, and although we just saw like a little inlet over there, it's obvious that nothing can compare with the literal river that formed this thing in the first place. So without that inflow of water, this lake has to be drying up, and apparently it is at a very quick rate, and causing all sorts of problems, what they call toxic dust, that when it dries up, first of all, there's a lot of concentration of off-run from the local farms. The sand gets gusted up into the air. Apparently asthma here is 5 times more prevalent than elsewhere in California. What's amazing about this, and I don't want to wax too poetic, this has no reason to be here. This is just a beautiful accident of nature. It's desert all around us.
Aren't we all?
But aren't we all? You absolutely, that was my punchline out of all this. We've been married for too long, high five. It's just a beautiful accident of nature, like each and every one of us. Amazing?
Oh, that's one right there. Oh, there's another.
The Salton Sea gets 300 days of sunlight a year. That is 82% sunlight. 82% sunny days by my quick, off the top of my head math. And today is an uneventful day like every other. 5 stars to the Salton Sea. This is amazing. This is an absolute bizarrety of nature. It is 15 meters deep at its deepest, so which is kind of interesting because typically lakes will sort of match the surrounding geography. So like steep mountains on that side might indicate typically that it would be deeper on that side, but it just is a flat land in the desert that was filled by a deviating river 100 years ago. And the gift shop is open. Booyah! Okay, we're gonna see some of the fish that they had here. This is cool.
Yeah, that was a record 36 pounds, 8 ounces.
This is one of them as well.
Yeah.
That is what the Mozambique tilapia looks like. Scientists introduced this native of South Africa to help eat the vegetation in the All-American Canal. They quickly traveled and adapted to the salty water condition of the sea. Fish are an excellent source of food for birds and sport fishing enthusiasts as well. Although these fish are highly productive, they are also subject to die-offs from the cold water and lack of oxygen during algae blooms. Orange mouth corvina. Introduced in the 1950s as a saltwater game fish, they made a prize catch. It is a mystery as to why they are not present in the sea today. Wow. What's amazing is that because of the constantly receding waters from the Salton Sea, all of the marinas are now unusable because the water's gone out too far for people to launch their boats, and you can't drive a boat in like on the back of a pickup truck because the quicksand will swallow up any truck. So there are no boat launches anymore for the Salton Sea. All you can do is bring in a kayak or a little dinghy or a canoe or something you can carry and drag into the water. I don't know, let's go see. So that would explain the total absence of any motorized boat or sailboat or any big vessel because there's nowhere to launch it into the lake anymore from. That's so cool. So apparently the water used to be high enough here where boats could tie up to the dock. Another interesting fact, they say the water is safe to swim in, but there's a warning to stay away from the algae blooms and gunk. No, scum. Stay away from the algae blooms and scum. And there are massive algae blooms in the summer. The blooms deplete the water of oxygen. The water is constantly receding and evaporating, so the salinity levels are going up. Basically, this is going to be a totally dead body of water in the not so distant future. All right, food? All right, this is the RV camp store and supplies in here. Howdy. Changing salinity. This is very cool. And eventually the tilapia are going to be gone as well. The Salton Sea is 15 miles by 35 miles long. That's crazy. That's huge. Is this not a small paradise in...
That's what I just said. I said it's an oasis. Small paradise is the definition. There's a train coming.